Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video I'm going to be making myself something I have been wanting to make for a very long time using my Cricut and my Cricut heat press. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so to start off with, we're going to jump into Design Space. So I'm just going to open this one up. I'm going to go into My Projects. It's going to tell me there's maintenance happening. That's okay. I'm going to come into My Projects. And this is a project I've already set up because it is a little, it's not complicated, but there was lots of typing involved and, you know, nobody wants to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this frustration board. Now, frustration is it's a game we play in our family. It's a card game. If you've never heard of it, oh, you are missing out. But whenever my whole family gets together, we play this game. And my mum and I both wanted somewhere, like something special that we could put on the wall and go, they're the rules, and make kind of a feature out of it. So I saw this, I'm just going to move off my screen for a second. I saw this gorgeous, it's actually a chopping board from Kmart. I think it cost me $10, something like that. But it's smooth, it's been treated. And I think it would look really nice hanging on my wall. It is very heavy, I'm not going to lie. It's going to take a lot to put it on the wall. But I've just wanted to do this for a long time. And so I thought now would be a good time. And this is my Mother's Day present to myself. And I think we often don't do things for ourselves. We're too busy doing things for other people. So this is something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And I'm going to give it a shot. The other thing I'm going to give a shot, which I've never done before, is when I originally thought about this, I thought, well, let's just do it adhesive vinyl. But the more I looked into it, the more I Googled it, you can actually do heat transfer vinyl onto wood. So I'm going to try that because I have plenty of heat transfer vinyl. This is just the Cricut heat transfer vinyl. I've got lots of little offcuts of it because I've had a bunch of different ones for a while now. So I thought I would give it a go. So I've got my sort of project here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it a bit better. So this box isn't going to get cut out. This is just the placer. So it's kind of like when I use Photoshop to make myself some inserts, I always put a placer. So I know that this is the right height, the right width. It's 49 centimeters. This thing from sort of hole to bottom is about 41 centimeters. So no, look, this is why I check things. Oh, sorry, no, wait a minute. The block is 49, but there's 6 centimeters at the top. I knew I'd done it right. 6 centimeters at the top that can get that the right size, and then it's got frustration on the top, a couple of decorative items to make it pretty, and then you've got all of the rules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my mat. Now everyone's going to be sitting there going, but that's too big to go on a mat. It's not, because I'm going to use my extra long mat. Now this is just the standard grip one. This is going to be difficult to do in my chair, but I'm going to do my best. And what I do have here is I have a few, like I said, a few offcuts. So this in total is definitely wide enough to cut my project on. So my project, the text of the project, if I click on that, is 20 centimeters wide, and this is about 30 centimeters across, 29 or something like that, 28. So there's plenty of room on either side because I don't want it to look squashed. And so this bit of vinyl is 24. So I've got plenty of room. Plenty of room. So I'm just going to stick this down. Just sticking it right up against the edges. And then I'm just going to stack the vinyl. Because this is heat transfer, it won't, even if I get a cut like right on there, it will be fine. It will do what I want it to do. And I'm willing to take the risk for two reasons. Number one, I don't have any more white vinyl. This is all I've got. So I'm going with what I have. And number two, oh, now hold on. I'm just having a thought. When you cut this, when you go make it, so I've just remembered, I'd remember it before I did it. So the shiny side goes down with heat transfer vinyl. So I'm just making sure I do that. So you've got the shiny side and the matte side. So this is why I check things before I do them. I'm sure I'm not going to be the first person to ever make that mistake. Oops. I swear getting the vinyl on the mat is the hardest part. But now I have been sent some new goodies from Cricut, which I'm going to show you guys in a couple of weeks' time. I have been sent the new mug press and I'm really excited to use that. I just wanted to do this project first. So I hope you guys can stick with me while I do this project first, and then we'll double back to the mug press, because I have tried it. I made Ryan a mug and I'm very impressed with the mug press, so I can't wait to show you guys. It is an upcoming project, so stay tuned for that one. So I'm butting that vinyl right up against the edge, and I'm just trying not to get too many bubbles, and then I'm just checking where this goes to. So yeah, now my battery will be flat. I need to just go back. I need to go cancel, and I need to just change some of these things. So I need to weld all of the words together because I don't want them to cut separately. I want them to cut all as one thing. So I'm going to hide the square, and then I'm going to put all of these together, and I'm going to go, so I'm just going to highlight it all, and I'm going to go attach, and then when I go make it, I think that then puts it all together. So it's gone, at least one of my images is too big, select OK to continue with a larger mat, which is what I've got, so I can do that. I can also see here roughly where my spots are going to be. So I can see here that it's going to start, line's going to be on about 30, which means it's going to pick it up it's going to be just above, so it'll work really well. And it's going to go down to 43. So if it's going to go down to 43, I'm just going to take this bit off. I'm just going to change it for this bit because it's a lot wider. Remember, shiny side down. I'm trying to make this as flush as I can, so that I don't have too big of a gap there in case there is sort of something there that's not quite right. I'm also just going to trim off this little bit of excess just so it doesn't get caught in my trimmer, in my cutter, sorry, in my machine. Okay, once I'm ready with it, I'm going to mirror it because we always mirror with HTV, and then I'm going to go continue. And it's going to connect to my maker. I'm going to go turn it on and make sure my base material is my heat transfer vinyl. No, it's the Cricut one. And it's going to say make sure mirror is shining on. Mirror is turned on and iron on mirror is shiny side down. I can go ahead and put it into my mat, into my Cricut, and hit load. It's also the first time I'm ever cutting on a gigantic mat like this. I'm very excited. And then I can go ahead and hit go. Alrighty. So now comes the fun part when we get to weed all of this. Now, it's the hardest part. It's the most time-consuming part. But I actually really enjoy it. So, this is just me. I'm just going to take off the first bit first and work on that and then double back. So I just want to show you just a couple of little things. So when I'm using heat transfer vinyl, it's obviously not sticky. So that's the first thing. I don't need to use like a transfer sheet or anything like that. It's just much simpler. So I'm really happy. Whoa, that's right on the top. And usually I try and just sort of start on a corner and weed it around. I like a curved kind of one, but I will also have just my plain tweezers for spots for this as well. And a pair of scissors will always come in handy because you can sort of trim off little bits of this so you can get a better grip on it. So just so you can sort of see here, I'm just pulling straight down the edge. Now none of this is sticky, so it does make it really easy. You don't have to worry about it getting stuck on something. It is reasonably easy to weed this stuff, so it does help. But it will take me a while. So I'm just going to go ahead and weed this whole sheet and then the other sheet, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have this whole thing weeded. However, I've lost a couple of letters along the way. I lost mainly S's, and then my B's and my O's, I don't quite know why, have not, I don't know what the word is, haven't cut out the middles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this down. It's the first thing. This is just a little bit of washi tape just to hold it still and to make sure I sort of have got it in the right spot. And I'm going to do the first, sort of the bottom bit first. Just making sure I'm happy with the way that sits. I'm actually going to just space this out a little bit differently. So I'm just going to trim this here, this bit here. This is the good thing about heat transfer, is it comes on this carrier sheet which you can play with a little bit. I'm also going to cut the little page break. I'm just being careful not to actually cut any of the vinyl. Okay, so you've got trying to make it straight and even. As you can see, I can stick this down and pick it up and move it around as often as I like. It doesn't hurt it. I can spread that there, and then I can put that there. And I'm just going to trim this next bit. What I'll do in a second, I'm going to do the first bit first because that makes more sense. There we go, that looks good. Okay, so that's where it's going to all sit. So I'm going to, anywhere there's one of these sort of letters that I don't like, this is a brave way to do it. This could completely mess up, I'm aware of that, but I don't like the solid bit, and I'm missing enough letters and bits and pieces to kind of be able to fix it. I don't know why some of it cut and some of it didn't, because in some spots this vinyl has cut absolutely perfectly, especially around all these little dots. I don't know how it got through all of that, but in other places it really hasn't. So we're just gonna give this a go. I'm also very nervous about using heat transfer vinyl on here, so this whole thing could be completely moot in a minute, but anyway, we'll see how we go. So I'm just trying to center this. So that's 5.5 is center. Righto, happy with that. So I'm going to do this slowly. So because I want to do it slowly, I'm going to use my mini heat press. So I'm going to heat this up I'm going to put it at full heat. And we're just going to work slowly. So I'm going to start with this one and move up. And then what I'll do in a minute is cut out a bunch more of the O's and the S's and the B's. And the good thing is I know what all of these say really well. So I can just go back and recut them. And I'm just hoping that works. So we'll try. We'll see what happens. Okay, so here we go. We're going to try this first. So I've got the little heat press, and I'm just being gentle and just moving it slowly and just pressing in. In different places I read said to do this different ways. Some said to leave it in one spot. Some people said to move it around. I'm kind of doing a bit of both. Ooh, okay, cool. Alright, so that works. It does work. So then I'm just going to move up line by line. And like I said, I'm just going slowly. The plastic kind of gives you an idea of how hot it is. So it kind of warps a little bit. I really like this mini. This is actually the first time I've used this mini one. I've had it for a while, but I haven't used it. And then you can sort of see when something hasn't transferred, so you can just bring the press back in and just try it again. So I'm just peeling that gently. Peeling it gently. Okay, so my A didn't stick, that's fine. Here we go. Ooh. And it does have, but it doesn't look as raised up. It looks like it's sort of stuck down. And what I'll do afterwards is I'll come across the whole thing and sort of do a nice big kind of run. So I'm going to do the two sort of bottom bits here first, and then I'll go back. Actually, I'm going to do the whole thing, and then I'll come back in and fix up all these letters that have messed up. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut out a bunch of these missing words and letters, and I'm just going to fill it in. Like I'm being careful. I'm trying not to put too much heat on the other letters because I don't want them to then melt. So if I have to, I'm grabbing some of this extra paper that we used before, extra sticker, sorry, that we used before. And as you can see, I can just sort of fill in the gaps. So I've got all of my little bits here. Some of my O's have cut perfectly, some of them haven't. Again, not sure why. That's okay. So I'm just going to go through and fill in wherever something is missing, and I'll be right back. The name of this game is Frustration, and there was a bit of frustration in making that, but I love the result. Going back and doing all the O's and the S's were probably the hardest part of all. I had a little bit of trouble when I heat pressed this one in, but overall I'm really happy with that. It's really smooth. It's not, like, I can feel the bumps. There's definitely, you can tell something stuck there, but it's not as high up as it would be if it was using adhesive vinyl. And I kind of like something about it not being quite perfect. I like that some of these are a bit wobbly. It just kind of gives it that rustic look. And I know this is something that my mum will just absolutely adore. Ryan mentioned, because I'm going to make one for her. This one's for me, but I'll make another one for her. Ryan did say he didn't like the font. I love the font. I think it's fun. But I'd love your opinion on it. So let me know in the comments down below. Need to send a huge thank you once again to Cricut for offering to... must send a massive thank you once again to Cricut just for continually reaching out to be in partnership with me. I really love my Cricut. It frustrates me sometimes, but the results you get are just absolutely amazing, and definitely something I couldn't have made any other way. There's no way you could make this cutting by hand. There's no way that you could make this sort of bit at a time or sticking it down or die cutting it. It just wouldn't work. So I absolutely love this. And this is something that I have wanted to do for a really long time, and I love the fact that they enabled me to do that. So thank you very, very much to Cricut. Like I mentioned at the top, I have got my hands on a mug press, so I will be doing a video on the mug press really soon. But if there is any other kind of Cricut video you would like to see, please let me know, leave it down below, and I can do that for you reasonably soon. If you did enjoy this one, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for lots more Cricut videos. And make sure you follow me all over my socials as well. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful day and a fantastic weekend. And I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!